Hello group, we're into block 7, but for a minute I want to touch on something in block 6 that Nancy started in her thread, what struck me in the readings. It was talking about encouragement, and it's interesting that it was brought up because myself, I kind of wonder sometimes, like, should I post, after I read something, should I post, oh, I like that, I agree with it, but then other times, I'm thinking to myself, well, this is your guys' class, I don't want to stifle the conversation or try to put an end to something, so, you want to let things kind of follow through and go that way. So it's interesting to see, that I'm not the only one struggling with how to address that type of thing. Joanne in the same thread there had mentioned about the idea that we don't praise the child, but we praise the action. And it's interesting with that because I recently did a orientation for a volunteer position, and that's what their emphasis was, that you praise what they've done right, obviously, like not necessarily them. So I thought that was good for me to see, that helped reinforce it. And then also within it, Sheila mentions in the same thing about, she likes to have feedback as a student, and I'm the same way. Like Sarah, I like the fact that she brought up with Blackboard how it is 24/7, and it's not like a class where you get some feedback, a head nod or something. You could type something and no one may say anything about your post for a day or a week even. So, I just thought I'd mention that. I kind of like that thread as well, because for me, I thought at one time maybe I should, write everyone's names down, make sure I respond to, so many people per week or that type of thing. But it's hard to, to know. So I kind of look at things and I don't say too much. So from block 7, I just skimmed over some of the readings, and a lot of times what sticks out to me is something that I can relate to in another class, and they talk about taking cultural norms into account, page 98, and I never realized how important that could be, because your first impression is a lasting impression, obviously, as they say, and also every culture has a different way of doing things. So I don't know, maybe if you guys have some examples of consequences of come out of a cultural misunderstanding that from the classroom environment you can share with us. And also for myself, on page 103, I found that they talk about to evaluate your discussions and that type of thing, to use a videotape. Similar, like what I'm doing now, I'm taking myself every week and I look at it to try to see, am I saying the same thing too much? What am I doing to, how can I improve it? So I didn't know if you guys have used videotapes in your class, or if you thought about trying that. There's a lot of material in the readings, and like always, I'm more interested in hearing what you have to say. Thanks, guys.